Chosen one, stop scrolling immediately. This is not the algorithm playing tricks on you. This is an urgent, divine interception. Archangel Michael has personally routed this message to your screen because the window for your spiritual breakthrough is closing fast. You have been walking through a severe storm for so long. The heavy attacks you have been facing recently are not random. They are hard proof that the enemy is absolutely panicking. The devil threw everything at you to break your spirit, and they wanted you to surrender and give up on your sacred calling. But you are still standing here today. You did not break when they expected you to shatter. God is so incredibly proud of you right now. You passed the test that was designed to destroy your bloodline, and the painful waiting season is officially over. The dry desert you walked through has suddenly burst into an oasis of divine favor. Every closed door is being blown off its hinges. You are stepping into the exact timeline you were born to rule. I know how exhausted you feel in your physical body. The sleepless nights and the racing thoughts were entirely real. The sudden urge to isolate yourself was not a sign of depression, but rather your spirit detecting a massive shift in your current timeline. You were being divinely hidden for your own protection. The isolation kept you safe from toxic energy. They always described you as too kind and too forgiving, and because of that gentle nature, they severely underestimated your true strength. They thought your silence was a sign of weakness, and they thought they had broken your spirit when they pushed you away. But solitude was actually your ultimate training ground. You evolved into a terrifying weapon of light. Before we go any further, I need you to hold something important in your mind. I am talking about something that was discovered not inside a church, but inside a highly secure research laboratory. This unique discovery won the highest scientific recognition available. Most chosen ones have never been told about this secret. It explains something you have always felt. You have always felt a strange gap inside you. It is the gap between the person you know yourself to be and the version of you that currently exists. You watch others succeed effortlessly while you struggle so hard. You know deep down that you carry a much higher potential. But something invisible has been blocking your path for many long years. What if this gap is not a character flaw at all? What if the feeling of being locked out of your own potential has a specific scientific name? I will show you exactly what the researchers found, but I cannot reveal the entire truth just yet. First, I need you to fully understand what was taken from you. Hold that question in your heart. The darkness does not want you to hear these next words. If you take your eyes off this screen now, you will miss the vital key. You will single-handedly strip yourself of the spiritual equipment you need. The blessing will still arrive at your door, but you will not know how to recognize it when it comes. The enemy wants you to stay blind forever. Funny how the people who ignored your texts are suddenly uncomfortable around you. The narcissists who plotted against you are watching their own lives crumble, while a magnificent table is being prepared for you in their presence. They thought betrayal would finally finish you off. Instead, it activated a primal and dangerous power inside you. You did not click this video by pure accident today. Your intuition literally dragged you here by the hand. Heaven is trying to hand you the ultimate decoder ring, and this ring will explain all the weird phenomena happening around you lately. People acting strange and doors closing unexpectedly used to hurt you. Now you realize they were divine redirection. Take one slow and real breath right now. Let the clean air fill your lungs and calm your racing mind. The intense loneliness you felt was never a lifelong curse, but rather a rigorous spiritual crucible designed to protect your aura. Heaven had to ruthlessly remove those counterfeit connections from your life. Your true kingdom connection is approaching. Just moments ago, a sacred scroll with your name on it was unsealed. The heavenly courts have approved a massive generational wealth transfer in your name. The tears and the feeling that God was completely silent were just a painful test, because heaven needed to turn you into an incredibly strong vessel. You had to become strong enough to hold this blessing, but there is a hidden mechanism buried inside this coming breakthrough. It is a secret message that you will completely miss if you decide to leave too early. Make a solemn promise to your future self right now. Do not let this vital message fade into the background noise, and listen closely to the sound of my voice. The absolute truth is about to be revealed. You are no longer the empath who begged to be understood by the cold world. The crucible of pain has forged you into an untouchable master of reality. From this moment on, your energy demands absolute respect without a single word spoken, and the divine wealth you were promised is flowing effortlessly toward you. The devil lost the war today. Heaven rejoices tonight. You remember the exact moment your spirit started to feel heavy. You would wake up exhausted, even after sleeping for 8 full hours. The air in your home felt incredibly thick, and every time that specific person texted you, your stomach would immediately drop into absolute panic. You pushed through the pain. You kept smiling for everyone around you. But inside your mind, you were fighting a relentless spiritual war. You thought you were just dealing with difficult people. You tried to heal them with your endless compassion. But heaven needs you to understand the brutal truth right now. You were not fighting difficult personalities because you were actually dealing directly with the devil in human form. These narcissistic entities did not enter your life by pure accident. They were specifically assigned to drain your vibrant energy. They saw the blinding light of your aura from miles away. They did not want your love or your friendship. They desperately wanted to consume your divine life force because they were completely empty inside their own souls. Stop blaming yourself for staying too long in those toxic rooms. You are incredibly kind. You have a deeply forgiving heart, and the darkness weaponized your beautiful empathy against you to keep you trapped in a cycle of endless guilt. You kept giving them chance after chance. You believed that your love could eventually change their cruel behavior. They took advantage of your pure intentions without a single regret. They lied to your face. They manipulated your reality. And when you finally caught them in their dark web of deceit, they spun the story and called you completely crazy. They made you question your own sanity and your own divine intuition. But your intuition was perfectly right all along. Heaven watched every single time you cried alone in your room. God recorded every cruel word they whispered behind your back. The universe saw how they tried to systematically dismantle your bright spirit piece by piece. They wanted you to believe that you were entirely worthless. But their vicious attacks only proved how truly powerful you are. You survived a storm that would have destroyed an ordinary person. You walked through the valley of shadow without losing your gentle heart. The isolation you feel right now is the direct result of that victory. The universe forcefully cleared your room. God removed those parasitic connections because your new timeline requires absolute purity and peace. But there is a deeper layer to this phenomenon that you must understand. The spiritual attacks were only one half of the enemy strategy. There is a hidden physical mechanism that has kept you feeling stuck and disconnected. Here is what they never told you. The reason the universe responds to certain people and not others is not about faith. It is not about your daily discipline. It is not even about karma. It is actually a specific brainwave that controls your reality. Scientists have a formal name for this frequency. They call it the gamma wave. And it is the exact frequency your beautiful brain was naturally running when you were just a young child, back when learning felt effortless. You remember what it felt like back then. Ideas came to you easily. You somehow knew things before they even happened. The world felt like it was completely on your side, and your intuition was sharp and loud. That was your gamma frequency, operating at its absolute peak. Then, adulthood arrived at your door, and the modern world went to work on your mind. The daily stress began to build up. The glowing screens hijacked your attention. The endless survival routine crushed your youthful spirit. The rigid school system trained you to quietly conform instead of letting you freely create. Every single year, this sacred frequency was suppressed a little further by the heavy demands of modern society. It was pushed deeper and deeper below the surface of your awareness. The version of you with photographic memory faded away. The version of you with lightning intuition went completely silent. The person who experienced the kind of luck that makes others whisper in jealousy was locked in a dark cage. You lost access to your own inherent genius. Most people will live their entire lives without knowing this happened. They will blame their bad luck, and they will blame the economy. But you are not most people. The universe chose you for a very specific reason, and the crucial question I asked you to hold a few minutes ago is finally rising to the surface. The answer is much closer than you think. What if the gap between your reality and your potential has a name? What if your struggles are simply a suppressed frequency waiting to be switched back on? I promise you that the solution is already written. I will tell you exactly what it is called later in this message. But first, we must look at why the darkness targeted you in the first place. Stop looking back at your past with deep regret. You did absolutely nothing wrong in this situation. The universe did not punish you for your mistakes, and the tears you cried were never a sign of spiritual failure. You were actually enrolled in a very brutal masterclass. It was a rigorous training program designed to upgrade your beautiful soul. They told you that you were just too sensitive. They made you believe your anxiety was a terrible disease. But your physical body was simply trying to process a massive energetic upgrade while your nervous system was being completely rewired. The pain was just the old programming leaving your body. You were literally shedding your old human skin. Every time you felt sick around certain people, your body was speaking. Your intuition was violently rejecting their highly toxic frequency. You ignored those warning signs because you wanted to see the good in everyone. But heaven deliberately made the situation unbearably painful, because God had to evict you from rooms you were never meant to occupy. The extreme isolation you experienced was not a lonely prison sentence. It was a divine quarantine designed to protect your sacred energy. Heaven placed a heavy shield around you to block the noise of the modern world. While you sat alone in your room, the universe was busy working behind the scenes to dismantle the dangerous traps. You look at your failed relationships, and you feel immense guilt. You think you should have tried much harder to make them work, but heaven deliberately sabotaged those connections to save your precious life. Those people were specifically assigned to keep you stuck in a low vibration, and their sudden departure was actually your greatest rescue mission. Being an empath is not a terrible weakness you need to cure. It is a highly advanced spiritual technology that detects hidden truth. You can walk into a room and instantly feel the silent lies, and that incredible gift makes the agents of darkness feel terrified of you because your pure light easily exposes their deepest shadows. You might be wondering why the universe took so long to bless you. You prayed for a massive breakthrough, and you met nothing but absolute silence. But the long delay was never a cruel rejection of your desperate prayers. Heaven was deliberately stalling to protect you from entering the wrong doors, while the universe was busy sweeping the floor before you walked in. You used to beg the world for a little bit of basic understanding. You used to shrink your energy to make other people feel comfortable. But the crucible of pain burned away your desperate need for external validation. A healed person no longer tolerates disrespect, disguised as honesty, and your quiet presence now demands absolute respect without making a single sound. I know your physical body feels extremely heavy and deeply exhausted today. The spiritual warfare took a massive toll on your earthly vessel. You fought battles in the unseen spiritual realm, while everyone was sleeping securely, and your current fatigue is simply the aftermath of a cosmic victory. You need to rest and let your upgraded nervous system fully integrate. Your family carried a heavy history of bad luck for many long generations. You watched your parents struggle with the exact same invisible blockages, but you are the brave cycle breaker who finally stood up to the darkness. You willingly took the heavy hits so your future children would never have to fight, and tonight you become the glorious break in your bloodline. But this brings us to a very important and highly dangerous question. Why did the darkness specifically target you out of millions of ordinary people? There were so many other easy victims they could have chosen, but they decided to send their most deceptive agents directly to your peaceful front door. You need to pay very close attention to this next part. The devil does not waste his limited resources on a completely empty vessel. The spiritual attacks were heavily concentrated on your life for a specific reason. The darkness saw something incredibly valuable resting upon your beautiful spiritual crown. They recognized a divine frequency inside you that you did not even know you had, and they deployed a massive army to steal it. They knew your true brainwave state would make you completely unstoppable. They knew your inherent genius could literally change the fabric of human reality. So they created endless daily drama to keep you trapped in a stressful survival mode. A panicked brain simply cannot access the divine frequency of absolute peace. And the endless chaos was an intentional blockade designed to keep you poor. But heaven used their dark strategy to build your incredible spiritual endurance. You learned how to maintain your pure heart in the middle of a brutal war zone. And this specific skill is exactly what you need to manage massive generational wealth. God could not hand you abundance while your nervous system was still fragile, so the painful testing expanded your capacity to hold the blessing. You did not fail the test when you cried on your bathroom floor. You were simply shedding the outdated programming of a compliant victim. You were stepping fully into the powerful identity of a chosen warrior. Breathe that beautiful truth into your tired lungs right now. The heavy guilt you carried belongs entirely to the past, and you are finally completely free to claim your rightful throne. Pay close attention to this next important part. The devil does not attack an empty house. The darkness does not waste time on ordinary people. You were targeted because your spiritual aura is absolutely blinding in the unseen realm. They saw your brilliant light from a million miles away, and they knew your divine potential would disrupt their entire matrix. The people who betrayed you were not acting alone. They were just empty vessels controlled by a dark system. Narcissists are essentially spiritual parasites looking for a pure host. They completely lack their own divine connection to the universe, and they desperately needed to feed on your beautiful energy because they could not generate any light of their own. You kept trying to heal them with your endless love. You poured your golden energy into their bottomless black holes, but their specific assignment was never to accept your healing light. Their true mission was to drag your high frequency down into the dirt, because an exhausted chosen one is much easier to completely control and manipulate. Look back at the exact timing of their worst attacks. They always struck right before your biggest and greatest breakthroughs. When you were on the edge of massive success, a sudden crisis would magically appear. This pattern of destruction was never a random string of bad luck. It was a precise, dark algorithm designed by the shadows to keep your nervous system trapped in constant survival mode. The dark matrix operates on a very simple mechanism. It feeds entirely on human fear and deep spiritual confusion. If they keep you worried about daily survival, you cannot access your higher gifts. A panicked mind simply cannot tune into the frequency of absolute abundance. The enemy knew that if you ever found a moment of true peace, your divine power would instantly activate and destroy them entirely. They used your greatest virtue as a weapon against you. They knew your empathy was incredibly strong and deeply pure, so they created fake emergencies to trigger your desperate need to help others. You abandoned your own sacred boundaries to save people who were drowning on purpose. They pulled you underwater just to steal your precious breath, while they secretly laughed at your beautiful and forgiving heart. But heaven watched this entire cruel game play out daily. God allowed the enemy to test you in this severe crucible, because heaven needed you to see the dark mechanism with your own eyes. You had to learn how the shadows operate before becoming a master of reality. You are no longer blind to their highly deceptive tactics, and your new awareness makes you an unstoppable force of light. Your pure light is extremely dangerous to their fragile system. When a chosen one fully wakes up, the entire dark grid starts to severely malfunction. Your presence alone exposes the lies they have told for generations. That is exactly why they tried to isolate you and make you feel totally crazy. They desperately wanted to silence your powerful truth forever because they knew you possessed the key to massive generational wealth. Do you feel that slight pull in your chest right now? That is your deep intuition confirming this absolute spiritual truth. The heavy attacks were actually a massive compliment in perfect disguise. The enemy would not send their best soldiers if you were not a major threat. Your current physical exhaustion is simply the dust settling from a glorious war, and heaven is preparing your victory table today. The people who walked away did not leave because you were broken. They fled because your frequency was getting too high for them to tolerate. Your pure light was burning their hidden demonic attachments. They ran away because they could not stand the reflection of their own darkness. Your sacred energy forced them to retreat into the shadows, and their departure was actually your greatest divine protection. This is where everything starts to finally make absolute sense. The universe did not punish you with those highly toxic encounters. The universe used those empty vessels to train your spiritual muscles. You learned how to spot a counterfeit soul from a mile away. You learned how to protect your sacred aura with an iron boundary, and you will never let a parasite drain you again. They thought they were completely destroying your gentle spirit. They thought their constant manipulation would turn you cold and deeply bitter. But you completely refused to let the darkness consume your beautiful heart. You survived the brutal fire, and you emerged as a brilliant weapon of light. You became the exact storm they were desperately trying to avoid, and your power is only continuing to grow stronger today. The cycle of abuse in your bloodline officially ends with you. The generational trauma hit a massive brick wall when it met your soul. You are the brave spiritual warrior who finally said, "Enough is enough." The enemy underestimated your immense resilience and your quiet authority. They played their final deceptive card against you, but heaven intervened and they completely lost the entire cosmic game. The dark forces are currently in a state of absolute panic. They realize that their old tricks no longer work on your upgraded mind. You can see right through their pathetic illusions and their fake apologies. Your spiritual frequency has shifted so high that their low vibration cannot reach you. You are totally untouchable in this new realm, and the universe is safely guarding your massive financial and spiritual harvest. A massive spiritual transformation is happening inside you right now. You can feel the heavy atmosphere finally starting to lift. The dark clouds are breaking apart, and the universe is actively rearranging your entire physical reality to match your new frequency because you are finally ready. You are stepping out of the painful survival mode today. The waiting season is officially over. Your physical body is slowly waking up from a very long nightmare. The deep exhaustion in your bones is being replaced by a warm energy. Your mind is becoming surprisingly clear. The heavy fog that kept you confused for years is burning away, and your sharp intuition is returning stronger than it ever was before. You are reclaiming your true power. The dark matrix is completely losing its grip on your mind today. They tried to keep your vibration low with endless daily drama. They sent toxic people to distract you, but their pathetic illusions simply do not work on you anymore, because your spiritual frequency has risen far above their dense and heavy realm. You are floating above the chaos. You have done the hard inner work required to heal your soul. You forgave the people who never even offered you a real apology. You chose pure love when the world expected you to choose bitter revenge. And heaven recorded every single act of incredible grace you performed in secret while the rest of the world was busy judging you. The cosmic scales are finally balancing. But before we go any further into your beautiful new timeline, I have to tell you something incredibly important today. The people who profit from your exhaustion really do not want you to know this secret. Neuroscientists have been working quietly away from the loud headlines, and they have discovered exactly how to bring your dormant brainwave back to life. Science is finally catching up. This is not about sitting in silent meditation for 10 long years. Most chosen ones simply cannot sustain that practice in a noisy world. And this is not about buying biofeedback machines that cost $7,000. Those machines require a sterile clinical setting, but the real solution is actually far simpler and much more perfectly aligned with your soul. The answer is already here. Researchers found a specific sound frequency that changes absolutely everything. It is carefully engineered to guide your brainwave patterns back to the genius state. You were naturally born with this brilliant capacity. Princeton University studied this exact phenomenon in great detail, and the famous Einstein Center in Berlin officially confirmed the massive results. The proof is completely undeniable. Columbia University discovered something even more beautiful about this unique wave. They found that when this specific brainwave is fully reactivated in you, it does not just stop with your own personal healing. The pure frequency actually radiates outward and begins to positively influence the people around you, shifting the energy of your children and your partner. Your healing heals your entire family. It only takes 7 minutes of your day to completely reset. That is literally all the time your tired brain requires. You just put on your headphones and close your tired eyes. You do not need to chant or force yourself to perfectly focus, because the frequency begins working the very first time you listen to it. Your mind automatically tunes into the signal. I will tell you exactly what this powerful tool is called. I will show you exactly how to access it before this message ends. But first, there is something critical you need to understand about your journey. There is a profound reason why your major breakthrough has been delayed until this exact moment. And you need to hear this profound truth right now. You were simply not ready. You had to clear the dark energy out of your life first. If you received this frequency while still holding on to toxic people, they would have stolen the massive abundance it brings to your door. Heaven had to ruthlessly empty your room before delivering the ultimate upgrade. So your divine isolation was actually the perfect setup for this glorious arrival. The isolation was your greatest protection. The universe often provides the exact tool we desperately need. It arrives right when we are truly ready to receive it. Science is finally confirming what your beautiful soul already knew intuitively. You felt the missing piece for a very long time, but you just did not have the physical name for it until today. Your prayers have been heard loudly. The elite forces are terrified of what happens when you wake up. They want to keep this powerful frequency hidden from the general public. A chosen one with an activated mind cannot be controlled by their fake news. You become completely immune to their daily fear tactics, and you step out of their heavy matrix to build your own brilliant reality. You are becoming totally unstoppable today. Do not ignore the massive signs happening around you right now. The numbers you keep seeing on the clock are not random. The sudden urge to change your entire life is a divine command. The universe is actively pushing you toward your ultimate destiny, and you are being prepared for a massive wealth transfer that will change your family forever. Step into your new power now. You can feel the heavy atmosphere finally shifting around you. The air in your room feels completely different today. The dark clouds are breaking apart, and the universe is actively rearranging your entire physical reality to match your new high frequency. The beautiful miracle you prayed for is literally standing at your front door right now. The divine signs are literally everywhere you look. You keep seeing the exact same repeating numbers on the clock. You notice strange synchronicities happening every single day. These wonderful events are not just random coincidences playing tricks on your tired mind, because they are solid proof that heaven is loudly confirming your new path. While your beautiful reality is expanding, the enemy is completely panicking. The narcissists who tried to break your spirit are watching you rise from the ashes. They are terrified of your quiet authority. They thought you were completely destroyed when they walked away, but your incredible resilience has shocked their fragile egos to the core. They laughed at your deep pain in secret. They mocked your gentle and forgiving heart. They celebrated when you hit rock bottom. But now they see the massive divine protection surrounding your aura, and they realize they can no longer touch your sacred energy. The tables have officially turned in the unseen spiritual realm today. Their own lives are rapidly falling apart right now. The dark karma they sent to your door has violently returned to their own homes. Their fake friendships are crumbling. Heaven is preparing a magnificent table for you, right in the middle of their chaotic presence, and they are forced to watch you receive your glorious crown. You do not even have to lift a single finger. You do not need to seek bitter revenge against them. Your absolute silence is your ultimate weapon. You simply walk away into your new timeline, and you let the universe handle the messy details of their ultimate destruction. Your peace is your greatest victory over the dark matrix. But wait, before we go any further into your victory, I need to reveal the fatal trap that has been set up right at the finish line. Listen very closely to my next words. 99% of chosen ones fall for this dangerous illusion right before their breakthrough, and you cannot afford to make this mistake today. The darkness knows they cannot stop your blessing. They know the heavenly decree has already been signed in your name, so they try to desperately distract you instead. The enemy creates a highly deceptive spiritual counterfeit to pull your focus away from the true miracle, because a distracted mind will easily miss the open door. A toxic person from your past will suddenly reach out. They will send you a random text message out of nowhere. They will claim they have finally changed for good. But you must understand that this is just a desperate test sent directly from the dark matrix to check your boundaries. They want to see if you are still weak. Do not reply to their hollow message. Do not let them back into your clean energy field. Do not even read their fake apologies. That simple boundary test determines if you are truly ready for your incoming kingdom connection, and heaven is watching your response very closely. You must completely ignore their pathetic attempt to return. The fatal trap I warned you about is exactly this situation. The sudden appearance of a counterfeit always happens right before dawn. Recognizing the fake is how you unlock the true miracle. You pass the final test by keeping your heavy door firmly locked, because the universe needs to know you will protect your sacred space. There is another dangerous layer to this final trap. The dark forces are creating fake spiritual tools online. The internet is currently flooded with cheap imitations and diluted frequencies. They promise you instant healing and massive wealth without any real foundation. But these toxic copies are actually designed to lower your vibration back into the dirt. They use the exact same spiritual words that we use. They copy the aesthetic of the light to deceive the chosen ones. They want you to consume uncalibrated frequencies. You must protect your spiritual crown at all costs today, because consuming the wrong energy will block your brainwave from reaching its true and natural genius state. Your spiritual discernment is your absolute superpower right now. You can easily spot the difference between the real transmission and the fake copy. You know exactly what pure truth feels like in your bones. Trust that deep feeling when you evaluate the signs around you, and never settle for a cheap imitation when the real blessing is already here. You are a master of reality who sees through the illusions. You are a cycle breaker who refuses to be manipulated anymore. You are a weapon of light, cutting through the heavy darkness. The enemy threw their very best traps at your feet, but you stepped over them with incredible grace and completely ruined their evil plans. You are officially stepping into your highest timeline right now. The heavy chains of the painful past are falling completely off your tired shoulders. You are a true master of reality who commands the physical world, and while the enemy watches in total disbelief, the universe is aligning a massive collision of beautiful miracles just for you. Every closed door is being blown completely off its heavy hinges. You can feel that incredible shift in your spirit today. That feeling is the exact frequency of absolute and total victory. You are stepping into the precise timeline you were always born to rule. The universe has prepared a massive wealth transfer specifically in your name. The profound question I asked you to hold at the beginning of this message: what if the massive gap between your reality and your potential is not a character flaw? Here is the absolute truth. The answer has always been physical. The spiritual block was never a lack of pure faith, but rather a suppressed frequency waiting to be unlocked. A specific brainwave called the gamma wave was running in you as a young child. It gave you that genius-level capacity and sharp intuition. Princeton University has studied this brilliant phenomenon extensively. The Einstein Center in Berlin confirmed the exact same results in their secure labs. Columbia University found that this restored brainwave radiates outward to heal your family. A dedicated team of neuroscientists spent years studying this exact frequency. They were led by Dr. Robert Lake in New York. They managed to compress the full clinical protocol for gamma reactivation into something incredibly simple. But before I tell you what they built in their labs, let me tell you about two chosen ones who actually used it. A woman from California had desperately tried absolutely everything. She tried daily meditation and manifesting and constant prayer, but nothing broke the heavy fog in her tired mind. After 2 weeks of listening to this new tool, she said something completely cleared. The blocked channel simply opened up. Her marriage shifted beautifully, and her mind became sharp overnight. She described her life as enchanted. A man from Texas started using it to improve his struggling business. 2 months later, his wife joked that his intelligence had jumped 20 points. The hardest problems he used to lose sleep over started solving themselves automatically. He said it felt like his brain was finally running on its true divine power. That is exactly what Dr. Lake built. They call it the Genius Song. It is definitely not a basic meditation app. It is a 7-minute audio track using advanced brain entrainment technology. They compressed 1 full hour of deep clinical protocol into something you can easily do at home. You just wear headphones and keep your eyes closed. You do not chant or force your mind to perfectly focus. You simply let the powerful frequency do what your brain was designed to receive. The Genius Song is not for everyone in the world. It is exclusively for the chosen one who has already done the hard inner work. It is for the warrior who understands that their block is just a suppressed frequency. The cosmic cursor is pointing directly at you today. Biofeedback sessions to restore this state cost hundreds of dollars per hour in a clinic. An in-home machine runs thousands of dollars. What the Genius Song delivers is available to you today for a fraction of its true value. And 4 powerful bonuses come with it to support your journey. You receive a special audio designed for your children. You also receive the original prosperity text that famous secret books were built upon. You get a guided visualization and a daily habits guide to sustain your new gamma state. Here is the deeper truth about waiting for your blessing. The provision God arranged for you does not arrive as something entirely new. It arrives as something you recognize. A suppressed brain completely misses the divine recognition. The chosen one who restores the receiver today finally sees what was always there. The beautiful arrangement is already in motion right now. Do not look for this specific track on popular streaming platforms. The counterfeits circulating online have no real brain entrainment encoded in them at all. The elite forces want you to consume those fake copies. The only authentic version is safely protected. The universe demands absolutely no risk from a chosen one like you. You are fully protected by a divine guarantee today. If you do not feel the shift, your earthly investment is completely returned, without question. That is an energetic exchange governed by absolute trust. The link is in the description and in the pinned comment below. This specific tool does not replace your beautiful obedience to heaven. It does not replace your daily spiritual surrender. It simply restores the physical receiver through which your obedience produces massive results. Whether that path is yours or not, today the profound truth of this message continues. Now let us return to the deep spiritual center of this message. The unique frequency tool described earlier remains available in the description for those whose spirit confirmed it. The path is open in the pinned comment. That is the absolute last time it will be mentioned today. What follows right now belongs entirely to your glorious ceiling. The pitch-black darkness has finally retreated behind you. The beautiful dawn of a brand new era is shining its brightest rays onto your spiritual crown. You have crossed the heavy desert of tears and arrived at the promised land. The universe is celebrating your incredible endurance right now. Your spiritual enemies are scattering in absolute fear. You are no longer the broken empath who desperately begged to be understood. The severe crucible of pain has forged you into an untouchable master of your reality. From this exact moment on, your pure energy demands respect without a single word spoken, and you do not need to explain yourself to anyone anymore. Your quiet presence speaks volumes of truth. Your family carried a heavy burden of generational curses for many long decades. But tonight you become the glorious break in your bloodline that future generations will always thank you for. You took the painful hits so your beautiful children would never have to suffer, and you are a brave spiritual warrior who finally won the invisible cosmic war. The narcissists who tried to manipulate your kind heart are currently watching everything they built crumble before their very own eyes. They thought their silent treatment would completely destroy your fragile confidence. But the profound silence after the storm hits differently when you realize you were the powerful storm all along. They are absolutely terrified of your new blinding light. Heaven deliberately isolated you to protect your sacred frequency from their toxic drain, and God placed a heavy shield of divine armor around your physical body and your tired mind. You did not lose anything valuable when those fake friends walked away from you. You simply lost the heavy anchors that were desperately trying to drown your beautiful spirit. You are standing at the golden threshold of a massive financial and spiritual breakthrough. The universe has prepared a magnificent table for you right in the middle of your enemies, and you will finally eat the sweet fruits of your long and painful labor. The wealth transfer that was promised to you is already flowing effortlessly into your brand new timeline. Do not let any lingering guilt try to pull you back into the heavy shadows. You survived a brutal storm that would have easily crushed an ordinary human being, and you kept your heart pure while walking through a valley of absolute betrayal. That incredible strength is exactly why God is so deeply proud of you today. You passed the ultimate test. But the universe is watching your response in this exact second. You have received the divine confirmation you desperately prayed for, and heaven has clearly spoken to your soul through this urgent message today. Now, you must perform a physical act of agreement to lock this glorious frequency in place. You cannot let this sacred energy simply slip away from you. The enemy wants you to just close this window and walk away in complete silence, because the devil hopes you will forget the beautiful promises that were just spoken over your life. But you must actively partner with heaven right now to claim your rightful inheritance. You need to establish a strong, energetic barrier against the dark forces of the world. Hit the like button right now as a bold act of agreement with what God just spoke to you. Subscribe to this channel immediately to establish a divine energy receiving station for your soul, and you are building an impenetrable wall of pure light around your home and your family. Let the universe know that your open hands are fully ready to receive. You must lock in this glorious frequency and create an absolute shield of divine protection today. So type the word Amen down in the comments to claim this perfect alignment. Declare to the universe that you are finally ready to receive your incredible kingdom connection. Seal this beautiful reality right now with your own physical words of absolute power. If this fiery message has reignited the dying faith inside your tired soul, do not keep this great blessing hidden to yourself today. There is a broken soul out there, bleeding in the dark of despair, who desperately needs a guiding light. Share this message with them to multiply your own blessing. Sowing a seed of hope today guarantees your harvest. God is walking right beside you as you step into this bright new chapter. You are fiercely protected and deeply loved by the ancient forces of the universe. The dark days of crying alone on your bathroom floor are permanently over. A beautiful season of endless joy and profound peace has officially begun for you, and your tears have watered your victory. Hold your head up extremely high, because you are a magnificent chosen one, and you wear a brilliant spiritual crown that no earthly enemy can ever take away. Breathe in the sweet air of total freedom and let go of the heavy past forever. I am sending you massive waves of pure love and brilliant light. Walk forward into your destiny with absolute confidence today.